What is up everybody, my name's LeakyTapsMan and this is another wishlist video where I tell you guys everything that I would like in the sequel to a game, and this week I'm going to do Infamous 3. Now for fans of the series, I know straight away what you're thinking. Infamous 2 was quite conclusive with its ending, and major spoiler alert for those of you that haven't finished Infamous 2, but I'm just going to briefly go over what happened. I know that in the good ending, Cole died, or we were led to believe Cole died, and then he went off in that boat, and then the lightning bolt came down, and it kind of looked like a 3. Take it as you will, but either way, the lightning bolt in itself is kind of representative that the whole Infamous thing isn't over. And the evil ending, yes, you could argue that there isn't much of a game to play with you just basically trying to kill all the humans, but Infamous 2 kind of disregarded Infamous 1's bad ending, so I could definitely see Infamous 3 going on the assumption that you've finished Infamous 2 as a good guy and you've been revived somehow by that lightning. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. I've also heard some people asking for a prequel where you get to play as Kessler, which I think would actually be quite cool. Of course, if they went down the Kessler route, they could have the whole time travelling and travelling between dimensions, that whole aspect, which could work really well. I'm sure that they could make something quite cool out of that. A large chunk of the ending of the original Infamous was based around the fact that Kessler was able to time travel, so they could make some really interesting story elements with that, I think anyway. But as a main character, I'd probably rather have Cole. I think he's a cool dude. And one of the main things I'd like in Infamous 3 in regards to the main character is I'd like them to bring back the original voice actor for Cole, because the one in the second game was kind of, how do I put this politely, he sucked basically. So I'd like the original voice actor back for sure. Another pretty big thing that I would like is a co-op mode. Now, before you get your pitchforks and your torches at the ready, I still think that the main single player should remain exactly that. I don't necessarily want another player in the main campaign. One thing that I would like is to allow co-op in the user-generated missions, and I think the ability to create our own conduit, make them look how we want, make them level up separately, so you've got a multiplayer character leveling up as well as your single player. They should be able to upgrade their own powers, allow free roam as well in multiplayer. I just think Infamous is a game where co-op would really make it shine. One thing I would really like them to do in the next Infamous is to make the fights more engaging, because a lot of the original battles just boiled down to pumping electricity into them over and over again, so you just kept shooting basically. I'd like a few more enemies where you have to think outside the box, you have to use some more tactics than just the bog standard, I'm going to shoot the crap out of you. I would also say improve the melee to allow upgrades similar to lightning itself. It shouldn't be geared at good or bad karma, just let experience accumulate separately and allow us to do a few more moves than just basically punching. Allow us to do some combo stuff like that. One thing I'd definitely like back from Infamous 1 is that feeling of progression that we got. It felt much more organic in terms of learning moves and just the story progression in general. It felt very disjointed in Infamous 2. It's kind of hard to explain at a canter, but players of both games will probably know what I'm alluding to here. At the start of Infamous 3, I wouldn't just want us to lose our powers magically and have to regain them, because that's a crutch that so many games rely on, and it just really sucks having to relearn the same abilities over and over again. Sucker Punch are better than that. As for the morality system, I do think it needs altering to an extent. There needs to be more neutral options and just more choices in general, I find. And there were far too many instances where you basically had to make the good choice, or it felt like you were really being pushed into making the good choice rather than the bad choice. One slightly minor change, but something that's quite significant in its own right, is the surfaces. They need to be less magnetised. When you're traversing the city and you're jumping from building to building and then you're trying to land on the ground, you almost always end up hooking onto a window or a ledge or something, and it is really quite frustrating. It breaks up the flow of the game, and something that might be seen as minor by many, I think, is something that really would make quite a difference if they improved it. I'm not saying take the magnetisation out, just decrease it. And obviously stuff like more powers, I think, is a must. Infamous 2 did a good job of making us feel quite powerful. I'd like Infamous 3 to build on that. I'd really like them to push the fact that we are this all-conquering beast of a dude. I'm of the belief that with each iteration of the game we should feel more powerful than the last one. And Infamous 2 didn't give us as big of a jump as I would have liked in that respect. And one generally minor thing, I think they need to increase the amount of combos, or whatever they're called, where you essentially get rewarded for playing a certain way. So rewards for getting a headshot and stuff like that, and killing people while you're grinding on rails. I think if they expand that system a bit more to include every single power and really evolve it from what it is, takes it up a notch. And if they do include co-op, that's something they could really push quite well, to have challenges include multiple people. And that is more or less everything that I would like in Infamous 3. This is quite a tough one to do because Infamous was not a perfect game, but there isn't outright a lot of things that it can improve on. I think I touched upon the main things, and those are the morality system, the ability to play with multiple players, and just a couple of minor control issues. Other than that, the games are really great, and anyone that hasn't played them, go play them. And if my voice has sounded slightly less offensive than usual, then that's because I've just got a Blue Yeti mic. This is the first recording with that said mic. I'm still tinkering around with the settings, so I might not sound perfect, far from it. And I'm using a freaking sock as a pop filter, so that's how ghetto I am. Anyway, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on Infamous, what you'd like to see in Infamous 3, where you think the series can go, if you think the series can progress at all. I know there's a lot of split opinion on whether Infamous 3 will actually exist due to the ending of Infamous 2, but I'm of the belief that it very much will exist due to the following facts: that it's a hell of a moneymaker for Sucker Punch, it's become an established series, and as I said before, the lightning bolt is, as far as I'm concerned, as much confirmation as you need that there's going to be more Infamous. So thanks for watching, I appreciate your time. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you liked me, which is unlikely, then hit the subscribe button, and you can also follow me on Twitter if you really want. So thanks very much, goodbye.